Hi, my name's John. Welcome to another Banggood review. This time it's not a tool or a piece of machinery, it's a heater. It's one of the new generation diesel heaters for use in cars, vans, boats, sheds. A nice bit of kit. I've had one in my workshop for 2 or 3 years now. One of the early versions. It's been very good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they've changed and how they've improved it. Before I start the video, I want to make 1 or 2 things perfectly clear. I don't work for Banggood. I'm not getting paid for doing this. What I do get to do is keep the product, keep the heater, which is ideal because I do need another one for this shed behind us. There is a link in the description box to this heater and also to the Banggood website. If you do decide to buy anything from Banggood, I do get a small amount of commission if you use my link. Everything you see here is out in the open, real world, no bullshit. If it's shite, I'll just say it's shite. Right, let's have a look. We'll get the box open and go from there. See, I haven't been in here as yet. I've got no idea what it looks like. Well, I have from the pictures of sent us on the internet. One thing Banggood have upped their game on is packaging. I've had stuff posted from Banggood come through damaged, but this is nicely packaged in polystyrene, proper job. Right, we've got a nice simple remote, on off, plus and minus. It's got a battery in as well, so it's ready to go. Decent instruction book. The first section is in English, I'll have to have a read through that. That's where the heat comes out, that's the outlet. That's the control panel. One feature I have got is you can take the control panel off, and it's got a longish lead in there, so you can have the control panel inside whatever you're trying to heat and have the heater outside. There's 2 ways you can use this. You can have the heater outside with a vent going into the shed or the car or the caravan, or you can have this inside with the exhaust coming out, but you must make sure the exhaust is outside. Decent handles to pick it up by. Obviously the fuel tank, internal fuel tank, everything's, that's a good idea. Filter to stop any crap going in there. 5 litre fuel tank, and 5 litres of fuel will burn a long time. I know 5 litres lasts me ages on the heater I've got. I think that basically covers all the outside parts of it. It's nice, I like the colour, it's nice. With a piece of ducting. Banggood supply this stuff, they sell this stuff so you can have longer or shorter. That's a nice touch, so that would go inside your building. Little air filter. Exhaust pipe, you can also get extensions for the exhaust pipe as well. Silencer there, just to silence the exhaust down a little bit. Various bits of pipes and fittings that I'm sure we'll work out what they're for as we progress. Okay, right, this is a game changer. That's a 240 volt supply, UK plug, plugs into the back of the machine. That saves you having to use a car battery or a battery charger. I use a 12 volt converter on mine, but this thing is ideal, designed for the job. That's ideal. I've emptied all the fittings out. I've been read the instructions. These are the feet, they go into there like that. All the little screws, nuts, bolts, clips, everything you need supplied. We'll get the feet put on first. These can be used to secure it if you're going to mount it sort of permanently. That's the air intake of the burner, and that's the exhaust out from the burner. Now this exhaust runs hot, really hot, 400 degrees C, so it must be protected from anything combustible. This is all made from stainless steel, so it's not going to corrode and give problems that way. And then you have the exhaust pipe, goes onto there with a clip around it, and there's a silencer to go on the end of it. You can get extension exhaust depending on how you're going to have it set up. That's for the air inlet for the burner. That simply goes on there, and you've got an air filter which you can have basically any way you want. That's the warm air outlet. In the case of how I'm going to be using it, that will go onto there, and then I'll be going to cut a hole in there, and that will get plumbed straight in to warm the shed up, so the unit's outside. The control box will be inside though. They do supply a nice little diffuser to go on the inside, which just finishes it off. Very nice. This heater will run on straight pump diesel, red diesel. I use kerosene because I use kerosene at work. Make sure the fuel is clean. See, it has got a strainer on the filler. If you unclip the control panel and take off that little access panel, you find a plug like that. Into that plug you can put an extension lead, so you can have the control panel inside and the heater outside. Quite a good idea. I'm going to power the heater up, and to power it I'm going to use a 240 volt supply that simply plugs into there. There's also an adapter here so you can run 12 volt normal car battery, and also simply plugs into there. But because this is running where I've got 240 volt supply, naturally I'm going to use 240 volt. Right, that simply plugs into there like that. Nice tight secure fit. I've got the heater standing on something that won't burn. Obviously a wooden bench is not suitable. Piece of metal. I'm going to put the exhaust on, completely silenced just temporarily. The screen's lit up because the heater's got power going to it. If I press the on button, this hasn't been ran, so it'll probably take 1 or 2 times to get the oil circulating, to get any air out of it before it actually fires up. You can hear the pump clicking there. It's starting to fire up. You can hear the exhaust. The display is now showing red, so the burner's running. The heater's settled down, it's running very nicely, putting a lovely warm air current out, quite strong as well. As well as using the little remote to change its temperature, you can also use these buttons. The heater's got a built-in thermostat, so it will cool it with a certain temperature and then slow down and maintain that temperature. Like I've said, this can be unplugged as an extension lead, so you have this inside the building and the heater outside the building. To turn it off, you simply press off. It'll now power down. It's important you keep the power on until it stops altogether. It goes through a cycle to cool the burner down, and eventually it will stop. This is where the heater will be working in my garage. The heater is inside, so obviously the exhaust's got to go outside. I'll show that a little bit later on. I've put some power to it, we'll start it up. The heater will be mounted sort of closer to the door, and I'll probably lift it up a little bit as well, put some blocks under the feet. But like I say, the exhaust must go outside. 2 ways to do it: either heater outside, or heater inside with the exhaust outside. It's the exhaust going outside through my garage door, and I've ran one of these heaters in here for the last 3 years and I've had no problems with it at all. There's no fumes at all inside the garage. That's a carbon monoxide alarm and it works. The alarm's run through its test cycle. It's live there. There's no carbon monoxide in the garage. There's no diesel smell in the garage. You get no condensation. The same obviously applies for a boat or a tent or a caravan. Right, it's really warm in here, so we'll turn it off. I'm sure you'll agree that this little diesel heater does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's going to be ideal for me to keep this workshop warm because I don't like being cold. The instruction book is very well written in English. It goes through the full menu, what you can do with the display panel. It's got a built-in thermostat, it's got a built-in timer, so you can make it come on whatever time you want. You can actually download an app on your mobile phone if you really wanted to and use that. Personally, I'm not into apps, but the little remote control, it's on, off, plus and minus temperature. That's what more do you need. Would I buy one of these for my workshop? Absolutely. I think they're real good value for money. It certainly appears to run less diesel than the one I had before. So I'm going to keep this one in here and use the other heater in the other shed. Once again, it's just time to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If there's any more Banggood product you'd like me to review, all you've got to do is leave a message and I'll see what can be done. Anyway, thanks for watching.